Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know how we're always talking about getting things done right, especially in construction?
Yeah,
Well, today we're digging into something super important for that, building a really awesome team, a real gold standard team.
definitely crucial.
And you know what? We're not
Yeah.
just making this up as we go, haha.
Right.
We've got some serious material to work with.
hmm
We're looking at you guessed it, the Gold Seal Certification Program.
Oh, that's great. A great place to start.
It's Canadian, as you
Okay.
probably know. And it's not just about like knowing your stuff technically, but also about, get this, leading a team that actually, performs at a high level.
Yeah, yeah. High performance, that's what we want.
That's the goal. So are you ready to unpack how to actually build one of these, top-notch teams?
Absolutely. I'm excited to dive into this. It's such a critical aspect of construction that sometimes doesn't get enough attention. We focus on budgets and deadlines, which are obviously important.
Right.
But the people, the team, that's the engine that drives it all.
Makes total sense. And the Gold Seal program really breaks this down. Like one of the things that jumped out at me was role clarity and accountability. I mean, it sounds simple, but I bet we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where things get messed up because no one's really sure who's supposed to do what.
Absolutely. And that's where it gets interesting, I think, because they don't just tell you, hey, be clear about roles.
Right.
They link it to actual tools. Like they talk about organizational charts, which, we've all seen them,
Yeah.
but sometimes maybe we don't use them as effectively as we could.
So what are they saying about org charts?
Well, they're saying if you use them right from the very beginning of a project,
Right.
everyone knows exactly what they're responsible for.
Oh, I see.
Who reports to who makes decisions on what, and then you avoid those frustrating, wait, whose job is this? Situations that we've all been in.
Definitely been there.
And it's really interesting they even bring in CCDC2. CCDC2.
The contract, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Specifically GC 3.5,
Right.
which deals with supervision.
hmm
And they highlight how those contractual obligations actually support this idea of clear roles.
So the contract itself is sort of a blueprint for how the team should be structured.
In a way, yes. It reinforces those clear responsibilities.
Interesting. Okay. So then moving on, I guess the next piece is, well, performance management, right?
Yeah.
But how do you manage performance without becoming like a micromanaging nightmare, right?
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Exactly. And the Gold Seal program, they're really big on KPIs,
Yeah.
key performance indicators. Are those actually, I mean, is it the key to, good performance management, or is it more nuanced than that?
I think it's definitely more nuanced. KPIs, they can be incredibly powerful tools
Yeah.
if you use them right.
So how do you use them right?
Well, for one thing, it's not about constantly looking over people's shoulders.
Right. It's about setting these really clear, measurable goals that everyone understands from the start.
Right.
And then regular performance reviews, where you can give feedback,
Uh-huh.
constructive feedback, of course, and then you can work together to figure out, where things can be improved, where additional training might be needed.
I see. I see. It's like a continuous process.
Exact.
So it's more about empowerment than just monitoring, I guess.
Right, exactly. Giving people the tools and the support to succeed.
And that brings us to training and development. I
Yeah.
mean, the Gold Seal program itself is all about continuous learning.
For sure.
Have you seen, like in your experience, how specific training can actually, make a real difference on projects?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I remember one project, things were a mess, communication was
Oh,
terrible,
no.
delays everywhere,
Sure.
and it was clear we needed to do something. So
Yeah.
we actually invested in some communication skills training for the whole team. And I got to say the difference was night and day. They learned how to talk to each other effectively, how to collaborate, solve problems.
Wow.
The project ended up finishing ahead of schedule and under budget.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a testament to, how powerful training could be.
Okay, so we can't talk about teams without talking about communication and collaboration, right? It's
Right.
kind of the whole point.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious, what does the Gold Seal material, does it go beyond, the obvious, like have regular meetings and, make sure everyone's reporting clearly? Does it go deeper than that?
It does, and I appreciate that they do. Because, yeah, meetings and reports are important. But what's really interesting is their emphasis on using technology to enhance communication.
Yeah.
Things like construction management software.
Oh, okay.
Those tools can centralize information, track progress, help make decisions faster, keep everybody literally on the same page.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense. So you've got the communication, you've got collaboration, but even with the best intentions, sometimes conflict just happens, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's inevitable.
So how does the Gold SEAL program approach conflict resolution and problem solving?
Well, this is where it gets kind of interesting. They actually make a connection to, believe it or not, the CCDC contracts.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, we usually think of those in terms of like disputes between, the owner and the contractor.
Right, right.
But they point out that those same principles, the negotiation, the mediation,
Yeah.
they can actually apply within a team.
So wait, the same strategies you'd use to resolve like a big contractual dispute
Exactly.
can help with like everyday team disagreements.
Yes. It's about having a structured, respectful way to address those differences, to find common ground.
So you don't let those conflicts derail the whole project.
Exactly. It's all about moving forward together.
That's really smart. Okay, so moving right along, we've got resource allocation and scheduling, making sure you got the right people with the right skills, where you need them, when you need them, and then there's risk management and decision making. How do those fit into building a gold standard team?
They're absolutely crucial, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it seems important, but I'm not sure how.
Well, think of it this way. Effective resource allocation is like putting together a puzzle, right?
Okay.
You need all the right pieces, and they need to go in the right places at the right time. That's how you maximize efficiency, get the most out of your team's expertise.
So you're strategically deploying your team's skills.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about risk management?
For me, risk management is really about creating a culture where everyone on the team feels comfortable speaking up about potential problems
Right.
and not just identifying them, but actually contributing to solutions.
Right. So you're empowering your team, but you're also keeping things from going off the rails. Okay. And of course, we can't forget team engagement and motivation.
No, absolutely not.
You can't just assign tasks and expect people to be, super excited about it.
Exactly. It's about so much more than that. It's about creating an environment where people feel valued, appreciated, and motivated to contribute their best.
So how do you actually do that? What does the Gold SEAL program say about that?
One big thing they emphasize is recognition,
Mhm.
acknowledging people's achievements.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a sincere thank you, a public shout out.
Right, right.
It goes a long way in making people feel seen and appreciated.
It's like it shows them that their work actually matters,
Exactly.
that their contributions are valued.
Yes. And it's also about fostering a positive work environment, right?
Right.
One that's built on respect, open communication, a sense of shared purpose.
That sense of purpose is so important. Okay, and then finally, we have documentation and reporting. I think we all know that paperwork can be a bit of a drag, but it's important, right?
It is. It is. It's not just about checking boxes. Good documentation, it creates a clear record of decisions, actions, who's responsible for what.
Uh-huh.
That kind of transparency and accountability is super important, especially if any disputes or issues come up later on.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So to sum it all up, it sounds like building a truly gold standard team, it goes way beyond just technical skills.
For sure.
It's about creating the right environment where everyone is clear on their role, where they're supported, where they feel empowered to contribute their best.
Well said. I'd leave our listeners with this thought. Think about the best teams you've ever been a part of. What made them special? What was it about the leadership, the management style that created that sense of, shared purpose, that feeling of accomplishment?
That's a great question to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into building a gold standard team. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.